All right, so we don't have a do we care because I think in this one we should care. So shouts
Mhm.
out to the big homie Jonathan Hood. He had sent me a text saying that this is history that we should be talking about, where we saw that between Ring of Honor and AEW, they have four black women that own championship belts. Willow Nightingale, world champion. TBS champion, Maya World, the Ring of Honor world champion, and it feels like she's closing in on Bruno San Martino's record every
Hey,
day. Athena, and Ring of Honor's women's world TV champion is Red Velvet. But when you add the ROH Pure Champion, which is Lee Moriarty, the ROH TV Champion, Leo Rush, the AEW TNT Champion, Kevin Knight, who had a dope match at the last pay per view with Kenny Omega, and when you add the AEW World Trios Champions, one of them being Ricochet, you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight black champions in
hmm
AEW Ring of Honor. So
hmm
when we talk about representation, when the internet wrestling community, well, say that again. When the internet wrestling community talks about representation,
hmm
it feels like when you read what you just heard or heard
hmm
what you just read, AEW is doing it in the way that the black internet wrestling community is doing it by having eight of their belts owned by black people.
hmm
Is this the organization? Is this the program we should be watching? Because it also does not feel like there's some pandering involved. Should this be the organization we should be watching and paying attention to?
I love your word choices. So, first half of the answer, yes, we should be paying attention. I will personally hold myself at fault for not paying attention as much as I need to, even just through clips and YouTube and everything, because I purposely do go to other organizations and try to watch something when I got some time. However, the fact that this is a question and a worthy question, I want to say this. Some of y'all might feel it's a scorching hot take. You might feel that I'm trying to rage bait, but your actions have influenced this take. So be
That's
mad at
fair.
yourself and be rageful at yourself. We try to bring the rage to me in the first Black Champ podcast. There's 8 black champions, all in the same time, same calendar year, and for one company and a subsidiary, right? Or partner. I don't want to call it a subsidiary out the gate like that because, business. But this just proves that inclusion is overrated. And I think real wrestling fans were absent in a lot of those conversations when Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston and the Brock Lesnar effect. I think a lot of when that was all going on, and hey, listen, hey, when Leo Rush was leading the affirmative action assault on every organization that wouldn't give him a title shot or a belt after he had been there for 3 days, like I think this is all y'all fault because Swerve, I haven't forgot about you and everything else because here's the real deal. I'm never opposed to black wrestlers winning. I'm never opposed to black wrestlers getting shine or getting put in different positions to be great. I'm never opposed to that. However, um, when we are in a space where now you got 4 women that are champions and they don't look like Bianca Belair, now you quiet. when they don't have the resume like Naomi, you silent. And it ain't that they don't deserve it, because I'm not here to say left or right on that, because of how little I watch, right? But however, man, there were so many wrestling fans that cared so much when X black wrestler lost and this person didn't get this opportunity and it was WWE based. But now when we've opened the scope and there's so many black wrestlers and other organizations, it seems to be a little bit quiet, even casually. So for me, that's what makes it overrated. Be as loud when every black champ wins. If it's really about black champions in wrestling, that's the only point I'm speaking to. I'm not speaking to nobody's talent. I'm not speaking to the booking. I'm not speaking to any of the outer workings, if you will. I'm speaking to your fandom, and it's you. Hey, if it's either a hit dog is gonna holler or bitch, I wasn't talking to you. It's one of the two. You gotta decide. So, with that being said, um, this is a great moment, but however, um, now y'all prove Triple H point when we have to bring this topic up only because of a sidebar conversation with ROG, and not because this topic trended to the degree that we couldn't ignore it as wrestling fans wanting to have a conversation.
So it's a double edged sword here. Um, because yeah, when 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 I saw this, and I had a lot of stuff going on that weekend, so I ain't even like I didn't look at nothing, let alone wrestling. But when I saw that, I was dope. I thought that was dope. When he sent me that, I was like, "Oh, that's dope."
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't dope to me because of the people. But it was dope to me because of a person. So let me run down this list so you understand where I'm going. Willow Nightingale is over. Like, let me just say that Willow
Yeah,
Nightingale to me should be one of the biggest wrestlers in the world because of how nice she is.
facts.
Like, there's there's nothing negative that you can say about Willow Nightingale. She's amazing. Athena, she dealt with the WWE thing and everything, was put in a proper spot, but she dealt with that everything. She left, and she's been killing it ever since. But we don't see AEW regularly on television. You got to go online to go watch it. But that's nothing against that because she holding ROH down. I don't think a lot of people would be talking about ROH if it wasn't for her, and Red Velvet the same as well. Lee Moriarty is one of those people where if, like it's perfect for when we look at Ring of Honor. He's perfect for that brand and the wrestling of that brand. And Leo Rush, the crazy character he has going on, he has perfected that. Kevin Knight, Kevin Knight, I think has been on a trajectory of being outside of what he does in the ring amazing. And Ricochet is Ricochet. He's a name. He's a name you know. He's a name you trust. I don't necessarily like this little gimmick. It seems like a suburban nigga trying to be a hood nigga, but okay.
Right.
However, out of all of those names, you know who I feel like when off the first glance or the first time you mention it don't belong there, and I think that's dope that
Mm-hmm.
she has the belt, considering how she got in this position in the first place, is Maya
Mm-hmm.
World.
Okay.
Unless you
Okay.
real deep in wrestling, you're not gonna know who Maya World is. You're not gonna be like this girl was here and here and here and there. Independence outside of that, you're not gonna be like, oh, I remember this. Like that is the name you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And when she won the TBS championship, a lot of people were shocked. See, Maya World took the place of wrestlers who felt like they should be in a position. So her and another young lady took that spot, and they've been killing it ever since.
Mm.
So for Tony Khan to put that belt on her, I was really shocked and surprised. So what I'm saying is, out of the 8, 7 is expected to me. I
Okay.
expect Willow Nightingale to be a champ, and she's the first AW Grand Slam champion, women's
Which
champion.
is wild in perspective to me because
Right.
it's like, I mean, they ain't been out a decade and she's already a Grand Slam champ. But
Yeah.
that's speaking to my other point from earlier about
And
titles and
right.
matches.
And then when you say Athena and Red Velvet and Lee and Leo and Kevin Knight and Ricochet, I expect those.
Mm,
The name that I didn't expect and what to me make this dope is Maya World.
mm,
Having that belt, because they could have easily been like, yo, let's put this belt back on Mercedes Monet, and we probably be having the same conversation when it
yeah.
comes to all the black women holding all of these belts and all of those things. We probably would say that,
Hmm.
but we're saying it with Maya World being the champion, and who mentored her, Athena, who's her
Mm,
OG, Athena.
hmm.
So being able to see that, and even looking at some of the other people on that roster that probably could hold that belt, when you talk about Megan Bain, who is a tag champion, when you talk about Sky Blue, who's been around, and the fact that she beat it, Hikaru Shida, who has won multiple AEW World Championships. Like she was the
Hmm.
woman who was holding all of that belt and that belt the longest when AEW first started. For her to
Hmm.
beat her to win that belt, that to me is what makes all of this special.
Mm,
Because they could have easily went with Shahida and the belt would have had, let's just say, more notoriety behind it. But they
hmm.
didn't. They they're putting the belt on somebody that they feel like can be helped by having the belt. And for that to be the person, that is dope.
Hmm.
That to me is what makes all of this dope. That's what
I
makes
dig
this
it.
all to be feel good, and not necessarily because it is so many black people winning the belt. It's the black people that they put in position to win the belt. See, any
Hmm.
organization can go get 8 people and say black people and say, "Yo, we're gonna put the belt on you," and it ain't gonna
Right.
make no goddamn sense. To your point, to some of the points that you were making. It is
Mm,
the fact that they say, yo, we're going to put this TBS championship on you while Willow is the champ and while your mentor Athena is the champ and while Red Velvet is the champ and all of these things. Don't put a belt on somebody black just because they black. Let's make sure that either they're over or you want to get them over.
yeah.
Because either the belt is going to make you or you're going to make the belt.
Yes.
Willow makes that belt. Athena makes not only that belt, but ROH. Lee
Hmm.
Moriarty is quintessential pure ROH. Leo
Hmm.
Rush, crazy as hell. Kevin Knight, by next year, I think we're going to be talking about him even more. And
Hmm.
Ricochet is Ricochet. But Maya, she's the one that don't necessarily fit and all of that. And that to me is a proper way of putting a belt on somebody in a way that puts that person over and looks good and looks dope. So
I dig that. I respect that.